been a weird few weeks in regards to Battlefield's future. Not in the way of anything like bad or anything, but it's seemingly just been business as usual with labs testing continuing and relatively radio silence. We saw an update for 2042, but when it comes to what's expected to be called Battlefield 6, well, nothing. Nothing was shown off in the recent major showcases, State of Play, Summer Game Fest, and Xbox Showcase, but it was confirmed a reveal would be coming later this summer. Likely its own reveal event of some kind, but it has been mentioned also that something could be coming this month even, and that we will have a heads up on when things will be happening, and it won't be a shadow drop of some kind. Andy McNamara, the Global Senior Director of Integrated Comms for Battlefield Studios at EA, say that 10 times fast, had a pair of replies that are rather insightful while still being a little bit cryptic with the community. When asked about June, boom, soon, where you at, Battlefield, he replied, "We've got some things brewing," with a smiley face. And then when asked to reveal still in June, as a direct reply to that, he said, "The community will know when the reveal is coming. We're focused on labs and preparing for the reveal this summer." Now, as is the job of any content creator, we're going to dig way too far into those words that may not mean anything beneath the surface level, but we're going to see just in case. June, boom, soon was that meme from 2042's reveal window that still is being memed to date, naturally. But the "we've got some things brewing" reply makes it almost seem like we might see something in June to tie everything together with that meme. Maybe a teaser of some kind. But the community will know when the official reveal is coming for the summer. That mention, well, summer officially starts today or tomorrow, depending on when you watch this. But then that will give us from now until September 22nd. So a rather wide window, of course, on when this could happen. But when you put the two together, the pairing kind of whittles down the window of opportunity for what we'd end up seeing here. If we have a reveal this summer, well, that's about 3 months here that we can work with, but if we are wanting to see something that gives adequate time to get ready for that reveal, sooner rather than later for some sort of announcement would make sense, right? So I guess I pose the question, do you think that we'll see something in regards to a teaser saying, hey, look out for the worldwide reveal of Battlefield 6 coming on X date? I don't think that's a half bad assumption to think that. Also, hey, quick mention before jumping into what I want to discuss next. If you'd like to join in on the conversations here live as we have them, head over to the Twitch channel, link down below. We're getting back into the swing of going live regularly. But anyways, more importantly, Battlefield 6, beyond the opportunity to reveal here coming soon, has kind of a big chance at launch. I feel like this fall is pretty volatile with lots of competition vying to be the game that you want to play. But I also think that Battlefield 6, while EA has explicitly said they're going to take it to the end of fiscal year 25 for them and they have the opportunity to launch it later, that would be something then that would push it out to March 31st as a sort of backstop date. But at that point, you're also getting pretty close to GTA 6, which every single publisher in the industry was trying to avoid a fall launch this year like the plague up until whenever GTA 6 was delayed officially. So it kind of makes sense if Battlefield 6 does launch this fall. But for me, the big three games, I think at least, and this is probably, of course, going to be subjective, Arc Raiders on the 30th of October, absurdly stoked to grind that. Black Ops 7, just because, well, business and making content on it. And, well, if Battlefield 6 slips in there as well, not only will it be completely a nightmare in terms of trying to juggle content for 3 game launches, that I dread the lack of sleep, but also am super excited to have that much stuff to talk about and to grind out. But honestly, I think that of all the years there's a fighting chance for FPS fans out there, this could be it. Battlefield seems to be on the right track from leaked footage. Now, of course, yes, there's going to be things that annoy casual players, annoy diehard fans, annoy people that are just kind of in between there, but people are going to like aspects of every single thing they've seen and also dislike aspects of every single thing they've seen. But for the most part, it looks like something that is going to be, at the bare minimum, better than a 2042 launch. And with potentially a full game offering with a campaign, multiplayer, a battle royale that's been rumored and leaked. And I feel like there was also a rumor of an extraction mode that isn't like a complete extraction, but I mean, even without that, that's a big offering for just about any type of player and something to grind out that in the AAA world is something that is a valid offering. If Battlefield can keep true to form, craft a solid game, I think that it will have a lot of traction. You toss in the sort of milsim aesthetic, make it a fun shooter and something that's responsive and true to Battlefield of what we've expected of Battlefield, then you might have a winning formula here at this. One thing, bringing back to the sense of milsim, shooters in the last couple of years, unless you go into the hardcore stuff, you're going to see a lot of stuff like Call of Duty dominates with just wacky skins and stuff that doesn't really make sense. I feel like the last 2 to 3 years, the sentiment of, okay, we can tone this down a little bit. Let's make it a little bit more realistic in terms of the aesthetic, not necessarily the gunplay and everything like that. It doesn't have to be a tactical, slow-paced shooter, but just the aesthetic of it is something that people seem to be gravitating back towards. All right, I want this to be a little bit more grounded. Battlefield looks, from what we've seen, to have the prime opportunity to do that. Of course, there's probably going to be wacky skins later on down the line, but at least for the first 3 to 6 months, you might have something that is a complete military theme of some kind. And from a direct competitor perspective, I think you can also see the fatigue of COD coming back into play with another year of Black Ops. Obviously, both games will be commercial successes, both Black Ops 7 and what is rumored to be Battlefield 6 as the title. Whether fans enjoy it or not, though, that's the debate. Like, absolutely, Call of Duty will be a bestseller, always has been, always will. The name alone will sell and push near $1 billion in sales for a launch, as it has for years. That's not even an argument. But for the sake of talking about gameplay and like a fans are eating good perspective, because of competition and that type of situation, I think this is a prime opportunity for Battlefield to strike back, similar to how Call of Duty did and attempted to with, say, Modern Warfare 2019, when Ground War was introduced and was kind of a direct push to try and lean into that larger scale combat, trying to take a little bit of that market share from Battlefield. Not exactly the same, but I do remember so many comments from the Battlefield fans back during the beta in Modern Warfare 2019 saying, like, this is pretty sick. I'm not really happy with Battlefield right now, and I like this. And then, of course, with 2042 launching in 2021, and not being something that captured fans all that much, that frankly had a really poor launch, well, it might be something that they finally can strike back a little bit. And actually, sidebar, if you would have told me back in the classic days, like 2007 to 2013, the golden age of like Halo, Battlefield, and COD, then 2021, we'd finally once again have a year where a Call of Duty, a Halo, and a Battlefield all launched in the same fall, and that all of them would be bluntly pretty terrible, Teenage Espresso would have been so pissed off. But I do think that Battlefield, personally speaking, has that chance to do the same thing as COD had attempted to a couple of years back. But from a top-down perspective, in terms of a hunger for something different, something new, I think Battlefield definitely has the edge here. Obviously, it's been years since Battlefield fans have had a game that launches and has quenched that Battlefield thirst, that classic feeling of large-scale combat and awe-inspiring moments. Black Ops 7, as a direct competitor, is just another year or two of the pendulum swing seen lately. Not a whole lot new. Like, yes, there are rumors of gameplay changes and stuff like that, but like back-to-back Modern Warfare to back-to-back Black Ops games, you lose some of that interest in the intrigue of, oh, this is new, I'll give it a try. Battlefield's secondary offerings, a battle royale, could also be something that's a welcome addition to the player base at large. I know Battlefield diehards are not too keen on Battle Royale, and I agree that in the industry it's kind of a cash grab, a trend-chasing thing for games to do that it feels like every single game now has a Battle Royale at this point. But not discounting that thought process at all, but also not speaking in spite of it, the market share could absolutely move with COD's reception of Warzone in the last few years. Frankly, and I'm guilty of this, gamers get bored really fast. I don't think that even if you gave us Warzone 1.0, like launch day mechanics and everything like that, or even at the peak whenever it was at its highest player count in Black Ops Cold War's year of support, I don't think that if you gave players exactly what they wanted, I don't think that they'd like it. I think that you'd still see so many of the Warzone is broken or whatever complaints there are every single day. You'd still see that, and that's fine. I think personally, a lot of that yearning for games of old are just nostalgia of good times in people's lives. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I think that what people actually want is something new to learn and try and get good at and get ahead of the curve that, in Warzone's perspective, is already been established for years now at this point. Battlefield being a large-scale combat franchise, to me, and again, I know this isn't the sentiment of a lot of different diehards out there in the Battlefield community, and I don't necessarily mean to be like, this is why you need a Battle Royale, but to me, it's always kind of made sense to have one. Large-scale maps, vehicles to traverse the world, large numbers of players in a single match, all key staples of not only a Battle Royale game, but also a Battlefield game. It's just like always made sense to me since those Venn diagrams, if you were to put them together, their circle. Firestorm was a product of wrong place, wrong time to me, and with a paywall making it inaccessible to a ton of players to check out and not necessarily use that as a springboard to make more sales for Battlefield premium titles, it was just one of those things that, like, it was a Blackout situation versus a Warzone situation where it was good, but it didn't have the support that it could have because of that. But anyways, I think Battlefield 6, if that is what it ends up being called, is in a very unique position this year as opposed to any other. And I don't mean to say this in the way of like, Battlefield's gonna kill Call of Duty, or Call of Duty's gonna kill Battlefield, or like any of that dumb stuff. This is just me as a fan of FPS games wanting to have something else that I enjoy playing, that I think is fun, that I think other people will find fun. My hope, at least, is that's what it turns out to be. We don't know. Maybe it's something that ends up being entirely not what players wanted, that somehow from what we see with Labs, all the good somehow turns to bad, all the bad gets worse. We don't know until we see official gameplay or anything like that, and we know of any roadmap of development or what content to expect and stuff like that. But it's definitely something that if you were to take a look at the franchises and the sort of industry this year, there's some good fighting competition. Hopefully it's just not another 2021 like we mentioned where everything turns out to suck. But again, that's where time will tell, and we'll have to wait and see. So let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think of this? Do you think that Battlefield 6 has a good chance this year to make some waves? Are you hoping it's good, or are you praying on its downfall? Let me know. But if you guys enjoyed the video, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor, drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe for more Battlefield 6 and other FPS content. We got a busy fall coming up here, and I'm really looking forward to sharing it with you guys. So I'd love to have in the community. For now, though, thanks so much for watching. Modest Man Espresso. I'll see you later. Take care, and peace.